Ah, the magical, inaccurate world of television. Hey guys, it's Phoebe with WatchMojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things medical dramas get wrong about hospitals.
Your bedside manner is what sucks.
What? What did you say?
We're taking a look at the most glaring errors made by hospital-based TV dramas that no doubt left medical experts scratching their heads. Let's get to it.
Who here feels like they have no idea what they're doing?
Number 10, Defibrillator Misuse. Chances are, a few of us probably wanted to be doctors just so we could whip out these electrified pads and shout clear when a patient's heart stopped.
The body temp 93 degrees.
All right, here we go. Clear.
You see it all the time on TV and in the movies, but it's not quite as simple and all-encompassing as it may seem. Although defibrillator paddles can save people's lives, they're only used on certain kinds of heart arrhythmias. Using them to treat a patient whose heart has flatlined isn't a thing. A heart that's stopped has no electrical activity present to reset. Shocking, right?
I'm so sorry.
Number 9. Paperwork is a big deal. Just like in cop TV shows and movies, the importance and time-consuming nature of paperwork is often omitted from medical dramas.
This is the lifeblood of our organization. Paperwork.
There's a lot that goes into medical care behind the scenes, including dealing with insurance companies and pharmacies. And all of this needs to be properly logged and written up, something you don't usually see hotshot doctors toiling over on screen.
Dr. Bailey, is that a patient form I see in your hand?
Yes, I suppose it is.
You're not supposed to fill out patient forms. Patients are supposed to fill out patient forms. You have work to do.
Sure, it would be boring to sit and watch someone scribbling down notes for hours on end, but like we said, we're here to debunk the fun. Sorry.
Oh, that darn paperwork. Wouldn't it be easier if it all just blew away?
Number 8, doctors at bedsides. For dramatic effect, and usually to give the doctors a reason to get involved in juicy plot lines, TV shows will usually show a doctor or surgeon as being a patient's primary care provider. They'll constantly be going back and forth to their bedside to chat with them, check their vitals, and tell them a joke or two. Realistically, this does not happen. It's usually nurses that do that job, and a bunch of other medical experts, like nutritionists and therapists. Also, if a doctor does come to speak to a patient, they're seldom rude and fear-mongering. Otherwise, they'd get fired.
Jesus Christ. Stick with that some bedside manner. You're gonna make one hell of a doctor.
We're looking at you, House.
You'll accept an apology. Yes. Not really a recipe for sincerity.
I'm not looking for sincerity. I'm looking for humiliation. Something that will make you think twice before you treat the next patient like crap.
Number 7, the high cost of healthcare. Going back to the point about paperwork, one thing we hardly ever see in medical dramas is the paperwork from the patient's side. We're talking about the insurance paperwork they'd no doubt have to fill out before a big operation. Of course, along with insurance documents and big, risky procedures come hefty medical bills.
According to billing, your insurance expires at midnight. So we're gonna treat you, of course, but just make it easier on you later. Is there another card or another insurance policy?
It's very rare that we see either the paperwork or sky-high bills being discussed by patients and staff. The patients can usually be heard saying something like, "Yes, doctor, whatever it takes," which is fair enough, but surely you'd also be like, "Hang on a second, how much is this actually gonna cost?"
You're doctors, but I own a bar. I don't got any insurance, so I'm not that concerned about the surgery so much as what I'm gonna do when I survive it. I need a number, 10 grand, 20, 30?
It's a couple hundred at least.
At least.
Number 6, doctor and patient relationships. It's one of the big reasons we watch the shows, right?
It's the way you both play your parts with such wonderful commitment that almost had me believing that you aren't having whiny, neurotic, extremely pale sex with each other.
What are you talking about? Please stop. The whole floor knows.
There always seems to be a love triangle popping up somewhere, and a lot of the time it's between doctors and their patients, whether they're dating each other or buying each other gifts.
I promise I will be 100% professional.
Oh, no flirting, no knitting him sweaters, no marathon games of Scrabble?
I will treat him with the same protocol I would any other patient.
Let's make this abundantly clear. None of this would be allowed in a real hospital. Doctors and patients cannot exchange gifts or have romantic relationships.
Relationships? Well, Zygmunt, relationships are so fragile. It just takes one thing, one Tiny little offense, and it can snowball on you. And if that snowball starts to pick up speed, God forbid, you better tuck and go, my friend.
Not only is it unprofessional on the doctor's part, but it also has some legal consequences. Plus, it can compromise the overall care of the patient.
Please, Denny, please do this for me. Because if you die, oh God, you have to do this. You have to do this for me, or I'll never be able to forgive you.
For dying?
No, for making me love you.
Number 5, residents don't usually have time to socialize. Given things like the aforementioned paperwork and bedside care, hospital staff usually find themselves pretty busy while on a shift. And that means, unfortunately, for viewers who like gossip, it's very unlikely that they stand around doing nothing but socializing.
Well, I was apologizing to Kim's chief of medicine, Dr. Mantoots.
Whether they're talking about a football game that happened on the weekend or which member of the staff they're going to date next, hospital residents don't have lots of free time on their hands.
Our patient woke up with an infection while we were getting our rocks off.
Do you want to stop?
No.
And if they did stand around chatting all the time, you can be sure someone would notice and probably discipline them.
They're undisciplined, inarticulate, and they have a lot to learn about respect. Mostly they're more interested in their personal crap than anything else, and I'm not sure that they're being taught anything different.
Number 4, diagnosing problems can be hard. Medical professionals will diagnose your illness and then treat you for it, right? They make it look so simple on TV. In fact, it's made out to be a little too simplistic as far as the pros are concerned. True, common illnesses can be easy to diagnose, but on TV, you'll frequently see complex illnesses diagnosed in a matter of seconds via quick-fire idea sessions or simply some wavy lines connecting the dots on a whiteboard.
Fever. Non-responsive to antibiotics and antipyretics. Fluctuating consciousness. Go!
Diagnosing a patient's illness can take a long time, with doctors sometimes waiting around for multiple tests from numerous different medical professionals. The sudden epiphany moments are cool, but mostly BS.
She's had internal bleeding. She needs the blood to...
Is that the mom? I got a good comeback if it's the mom.
Yes, I'm her mother.
Sure. She needs blood. If you want to kill her, then you'd have nobody left to neglect. Great plan.
Number 3, interns don't compete for a diagnosis. Staying on the subject of diagnosis, many medical dramas frequently feature a budding, up-and-coming intern who'll do anything to be heard, including shouting louder than everyone and trying to guess a patient's illness.
3-way time!
Okay, final patient diagnosis.
Motion sickness.
No!
Gun gang fever!
No!
Yeah, this doesn't happen. Especially when you see residents or medical students trying to correct or one-up a physician.
You were right. Booking the OR for tomorrow.
Thank you for backing me up on this.
Wait. You were right. But if you ever pull a stunt like that again, going to the parents behind a doctor's back, trying to steal a patient from another service, I will make your residency here hell on earth.
Even if you manage to get the answer right, your behavior will not be tolerated. There is a clear hierarchy and code of conduct in a hospital, and even if you're the smartest medical student around, it does not give you the right to be rude.
You know, it's like there's this wall, and the attendings and the residents are over there being surgeons, and we're over here being...
Suturing, code running, lab delivering, penis minders.
I hate being an intern.
Number 2, CPR isn't an easy fix. Like the defibrillator paddles mentioned earlier, CPR certainly has its place in the medical profession. But using it like a Swiss Army knife for every single medical emergency and expecting it to suddenly cure someone of their ailment is not a thing.
Right. Get the monitor ready. We need O negative. Activate major hemorrhage protocol. Get him up. He needs theater.
CPR can help keep blood flowing to the brain if the heart stops beating, but statistics on CPR actually saving lives are pretty low. Not only that, but whoever it is that's lying on their back is likely to suffer cracked ribs and require a tube down their throat. And they won't be miraculously opening their eyes after a few seconds, feeling right as rain either.
Lost 5 patients on the code team today. I feel like the angel of death.
George, 95% of all code patients can't be revived. Most of them are seriously dead before you can get there.
Number 1, every doctor isn't all-knowing. Just like in engineering, computer science, or well, just about any other type of occupation, medical professionals have their own specialties.
I've taken a bunch of notes on hospital vernacular, so if you guys might want to jot some things down if you feel it relates to you, okay? First one is GOMERS. GOMERS are elderly patients. It stands for Get Out of My Emergency Room.
TV likes to show non-surgeons saving the day by jumping in on a surgery, and highly specialized surgeons giving impressive, lengthy diagnoses on mundane illnesses.
The differential diagnosis for biliary tree scarring includes primary sclerosing cholangitis, liver failure, secondary to primary biliary cirrhosis.
Yeah, Sean, we can add a few cancers to that list as well. It's a long and ugly one. Find another way to figure out what it is.
And in the case of someone like Dr. Gregory House, well, he knows pretty much everything about everything. In reality, doctors and hospitals aren't like that. Each doctor has their own field of focus, and they only treat specific ailments for that reason. A doctor not knowing the answer to a medical question in real life is a very common thing, and that's why there's more than one doctor per hospital.
Why do you think the world will end in chaos and destruction if you're not there to save it?
Wait, so one individual can't be an expert in every field of medicine? Shocker! What'd you guys think of the list? Let us know in the comments or tweet me at Phoebe_WM. And check out this video.